Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of G.O.D.S. Volume 1, the trade back. And I liked kind of what I started seeing in 1 and then getting 2 with the Marvel must-haves, and decided to go for this to see how 3 through 8 kind of worked out. And I'm glad I did. It was pretty much worth it for the art alone because of how fucking nutty and gnarly it gets. Let's see here. It just really looks so good. Especially when they're doing kind of strange ass shit and it's just all everywhere. I mean, look at that. This is really kind of cool because it goes storyboard style and then the regular style that we've kind of gone on for. And this is $29.99, and I think it's just really kind of good. I like getting the introduction of Win, Aiko, Dimitri, Mia, kind of understanding this powers that be and the natural order of things, and what kind of goes on magic for the powers that be, natural order of things for the kind of science aspect. Now, I've already looked and done reviews pretty much of 1 and 2, so we kind of go on for the rest of it. Now, my only kind of true kind of negative criticism on this is we don't really get much of a story. We kind of get inklings and stuff in the background of what's kind of going on with like Oblivion and In-Betweener, order and chaos, magic and science, and what's kind of going on. How this is more of a kind of building block for a kind of cosmology kind of thing. Anything on the back. Jonathan Hickman reinvents the cosmology of the Marvel Universe. And an important bit is that Hickman is doing another kind of thing, Imperial. Nature abhors a vacuum. It was teased like around Christmas time, and this is coming in summer of 2025. Wanted to make sure I brought that up. So we'll see how this kind of informs. I mean, we do kind of understand and start getting in that Oblivion's pretty much making moves, trying to pretty much destroy pretty much everything, but that kind of takes the backseat for us understanding and learning of the characters of Wynn, who is kind of like a more kind of roguish Doctor Strange. We see that Strange is put more on the books in this kind of thing, more kind of a more serious follower, where Wynn's more of a kind of whimsical kind of one on him, since he's the kind of magic one. And an interesting kind of dynamic is that Wynn pretty much has one of these science guys, Dimitri, as his kind of like attaché, and Aiko gets Mia, a magic one, as her attaché, and it kind of like does some kind of weird shit with her head because she doesn't like what she's kind of done because she has to rebuild up the Centaurs for the natural order of things. But that's my kind of gripe in that there's a story that's going on, but we're mainly just learning about the characters and learning who they are before we kind of like end off. So I love the character work, but I don't know exactly what we're building towards here, if we're building towards anything. That's the weird kind of thing. I know that sounds strange, but the conclusion here is mainly dealing with Wynn and some kind of battle. Like, we get like the end kind of thing of this kind of battle thing, if that's what it's kind of teasing at, and then an idea of if Wynn would make any kind of different kind of choices in his life. So let us crack on to 3 first, because this is where we start seeing most of the players starting to kind of like come off, because we got introduced to Mia and Aiko going together, and then we see like this one agent of Oblivion kind of like popping in. We see this Cassandra who's able to see stuff and deciding to make her own choices, as we see Wynn, Strange, and Dimitri popping up in the Library of Worlds to meet Aiko and the head representative of the Centaurs, and seeing what's kind of going on. And it's really kind of cool to get Mia and Dimitri kind of working off before we see that, like, this avatar of Oblivion pops up and be like, yeah, I'm really fucking your shit up, guys. And, of course, one of his agents is going to do some kind of horrible thing, and look at that kind of crazy shit. We see Dimitri kind of pretty much having a philosophical discussion with it, because I've never been here before. But you knew that already, didn't you, Dimitri Krakow, son of Valery and Ivana, always looking to the stars, hoping for a miraculous re-entry and knowing a return of any kind is unlikely. But you must keep looking. You must. When hope is all you have, you dare not lose it. And then bringing up what belief and everything kind of has to do with it, how he's getting more and more people, how man makes its own gods, which is interesting, of like, yes, it made those other ones and then made their own creations and lost faith in them as well. And then bringing up that, like, because I'm not like other gods, I do not desire praise and worship, I have no need for disciples. And of course it's like ticking up, it's like nothing matters, and of course Stranger's like, shit's going down, as this dude's pretty much attempting to utilize this like thing, the permission to do anything you want, because nothing matters at all. And of course we then see that they're attempting to change shit. We get into issue 4 and seeing that they are able to avert the kind of disaster as we get the backstory of the agent that was pretty much set upon by the in-betweener, putting them in this box, pretty much doing this whole thing that everything except the box is a dream, and that being awake is in the box. It's like interesting how they kind of flip that, and then trying to pretty much destroy all this stuff, not really fitting in an aim, and then getting their orders from the in-betweener, and the in-betweener kind of more linked with Oblivion in this case. And of course, they then have this kind of explodey thing, and Dimitri's like, yeah, hold on to this shit. As they then try and kind of help this dude out, and Oblivion's like, fuck you, asshole. It's like, alright, yeah, well, get in line, dick shit. And of course they bring the dude back home, and god, that is fucking gnarly there. And they like go through and it's like, yeah, we have a problem here. There's a lot of shit going on. Like that's kind of scary. It's like, alright, what are you attempting to do here? And then we get the Black Swans kind of brought into effect, which are kind of similar to a kind of Burning Man kind of thing. They were linked up with Hickman with like Secret Wars and what was going on with like Molecule Man. They're like cooking guys in pots and stuff and trying to figure out their new kind of beliefs and what these things are trying to tell them. And they write down this information and then smack the shit out of someone and like let this Eldritch kind of thing kind of take them. And they're trying to get like consonants and clusters and stuff. It's like, oh god. And then we see that Wynn pops up with Mia and needs kind of help with a thing. And then we kind of learn a little bit more about magic and how he's like manifesting an object of power that's both a reflection of who you are and which also serves as a weapon. And the thing is, I really connected with Mia during this issue because she's like, I'd offer you something to drink while I don't have squat. Actually, no. Do you know what it's like not having anything for so long that you don't know what to do when that changes? Aiko gave me some cash and a card that has an embarrassing balance on it. I mean, I'm kind of rich now, but every time I go to spend some, I can't help but think that this is all way too good to be true, so I better hold on to what I had. And just look at this place. If I did start spending money, I'd have no idea where to start. I'd start with a bed. That way, when you're thinking about how unfair all this is, you can hide under the sheets and have yourself a good cry. I know he's making fun of it, but I really connected with Mia there because it's like, when you're in that kind of situation, you do get that kind of paralysis. You're like, where's the other shoe going to drop? What's it going to take me out as? And then I love how she's like, oh, we're not going to be friends, are we? And that she can, like, bend light around her so she's invisible. And I also noticed that I can make it so no one can hear me either. Well, first off, you might need a therapist. Second, those are all defensive in nature. Can you summon your artifact yet? And I really love that she was able to, and it's a fucking glaive. He's got, like, a dagger. It's like, okay. It's really fucking awesome, and I really love that artwork there for it. So he pretty much sends her in because, I mean, if he went in, they'd probably try and tank his ass to fucking figure out some stuff, and she's able to like show off things that she needs to. And of course, they were removed from the Library of Worlds, and shit's going nutty, and we find out that they pretty much tanked Dimitri and fed him to an eldritch thing. Where he did try and offer a trinket thing. And of course, they kind of want to trade, and they were talking about being harbingers of a great plan, but that was all destroyed, and somehow we survived. Ciphers of an abandoned mythology, and we need to know our new purpose. It's like, okay, I do like examining that kind of stuff, and that's really kind of cool, because it both explores the Black Swans as well as Mia as well. And she's like... And she's like, I can't read it, but I can tell you what you're missing. And they're like, alright, cool. 62, you're missing 62 letters. That's all that's left. And of course they're like, so close. But they were able to get Dimitri back, and Wynn's like, you are being a bunch of assholes. But this time you did not. Do it again and you'll find yourself wishing for the good old days of total annihilation and Rabu Allah. Allah. Do we understand each other? Do we understand one another? Yes. Alright then. Best of luck. And of course, she wants to be like Wynn at that kind of level. Damn it, what? I owe you, so at the very least that means I owe you the truth. I'm sorry, but there's a reason that the Centaurs aren't supposed to be gathering minions into their service. I mean, they didn't do anything wrong, you're in good hands, but it's like a baby bird that gets a human scent on it. The mother just won't take it back. I don't understand. Aiko showed you the path, got you started on it, and got the Centum's stink on you. There's a cost attached to that. What is? The powers that be will never welcome you into their arms. She clipped your wings, so no matter what you do, you'll never be more than what you are right now. I'm sorry. It's like, oh shit. So that leads us to, let me see. And then this one pretty much deals with the blow up of that with Aiko, and her then going pretty much to the Covenant, a magical NGO, to pretty much talk with any of the other kind of gods, and of course showcasing that she has to go through and pretty much descend through various different levels, of course paying a price, pretty much going into different kind of almost hells, talking with Oblivion, and having to watch out what she says because she can't lie. She tries to get them to kind of change up and undo her mistake, but you know that's never going to happen. Talking about fearing what's coming. And of course, the one that guided her there is the one that like takes her down, pretty much saying, I want both of your eyes or else you have to lie for the next 20. And of course, Wynn has told her, and of course that blows up and everything. And came up. Couldn't be avoided. She deserved to know. Now she won't even speak to me, so I did it all for nothing. No, she's better. You fixed that. And so eventually she'll get over it. And you paid what I had to, yeah. Ever wonder what it means? That we work for gods who never pay the price for their actions, but people like you and I, they're very special servants, are forced to live with the consequences of ours, and because of the power they give us, forced to do so for, well, however long we can take it, in our very long lives. Getting a little tired of that. And I'm like, totally get that. 7 then deals with Dimitri attempting to actually find his parents. And I do kind of like that it's in black and white kind of with red tinges, as we find out that his parents were lost on pretty much a space mission. They were trying to pretty much figure out what the noise was, but then we see that he's given this kind of thing, and that's kind of like how it works on him now. talking about that there's countless mysteries in the universe, unknown and unsolved. It's quite possible this will be one of them, and that he's got to kind of live with that. But we see that he is attempting to do a kind of thing to kind of pinpoint the sound and the location, and talking about like an axis of power in the universe. On one end lies science, and on the other magic. There are other axes, along which is measured birth and death, while the other measures good and evil. Together they form the cube-like shape of the universe, the totality of everything within it. I know all things. It's like, that's what the thing, his kind of little pad thing, is telling him. It's like, oh shit. Then we also see Dimitri pretty much talking with Strange, being like, what are you doing? Let me see. Let's check on all my friends, enemies, and magic adjacent. Depends what day of the week it is, people. So you need a favor, considering your reach and means, probably has to do with placing your device somewhere within my abode, which I've stopped you from doing before. If I say yes, you'll seize the upper hand in our negotiation. Chance of Stephen Strange taking advantage of personal weakness in any random situation, 98%. Right, so maybe I've already said no once. Why do you think I'd change my mind? Spoken to Win lately? I can't. I call, he doesn't always pick up. That's because he knows you won't approve of what he's doing regarding the in-betweener. And what would that be? Well, I am, to use an improper term, his boy, and with that comes a good bit of discretion, and a large dose of respect regarding things said in confidence. But you scratch my back, I scratch yours. And of course we see him pinging things everywhere, and that he is able to pretty much find them, kind of goes through the door, and is able to get out his mother before things try and pretty much eat him. God, I really love the page layout on that. That's kind of gnarly. But the heartbreaking thing is he's able to get her out, but she, like, pretty much rapidly ages and then dies. His father's still in there, and then he cracks in, and he's been gone for like 2 months, and Wynn's trying to find him. And then we pretty much see 100 years later all these badasses and everything, and it ends not with a whimper but on bended knee as we see a lot of crazy ass shit. It's like, what the fuck's kind of going on here? A war was fought, a war was won. Of the enemy pantheon only few remain. They are here to surrender fully and completely, truly humbled and defeated. Will you accept such submission? We are in agreement that they are defeated and now under our dominion. As to the terms, victory was not without a price. A single conquest of a single territory only requires a single supplicant, not 3. As they then just blast, it's like, ah, shit, fuck. And then, of course, they're talking about, like, power winning. I do like seeing Mia in this kind of different kind of way. We see Aiko kind of looking out. Wynn was evidently indisposed for a certain kind of time. Though she does look, I'm like, oh, she looks kind of stranger there. It's like, what the hell? Everybody's saying they're sorry for what happened to him. And, of course, the in-betweener is what pretty much happens to him. It's like, what the fuck, man? Him, of course, not being broken. It's like, what the fuck's kind of going on here? And, of course, we see that Dimitri is dead. It's like, oh, God, that sucks. Talking about also costs of what they're doing. And I love that kind of theme kind of popping up more and more. Of course, him breaking into places and trying to figure out what's kind of going on. And we see pretty much the beginning of Wynn's story being brought into, let's see, the powers that be. Invoking her, it seems a friend has come to visit. Then seeing her form, it's like, holy fucking shit, that's crazy as hell. Then we start seeing him throughout various different kind of time periods. before coming on to like 40 years ago and seeing that the in-betweener also now has like the black swans with him. Talking also about how he should be there, but we see the in-betweener has him like sectioned off into like pieces. It's like, what the? Now, seeing the look on your face, I understand that the perfect ending is making you forget, letting you live, walking free with pity in the eyes of everyone you meet, and you knowing nothing of why that is. Yes, I do see it, and then we will be even. Of course, him being humiliated and that he was foiled pretty much put him to do this to win. A poison pill, delayed vengeance, retribution for the righteous. Strange, I got my revenge on him, one piece at a time, little nibbles over the years. Little pieces of his mind, madness would be his penance. But you, I made a meal of. It's like, shit, fuck. Trying to stop him from doing all this different kind of shit. Of course, we see like an older one, it's like, oh god, this is not good. And 10,000 years from now. So we lose, depends on how you define losing. If you mean, does the axis of power break in the universe and the billions of worlds it holds become unmoored? Of course not. We serve real, eternal power, in all the ways those words can possibly mean. But if you mean you and me, yes, we lost it all a long time ago, before now and before your current sorry state. I know. I suppose our road was set the day a child's prayers were answered, and that the powers that be favored us more than all other men. Idiot. You know where you're going, don't you? Yes. Then you know exactly when we lost our way, and that we are cowards. Now, and 115 years ago, talking about like when he got married to Aiko. And him then talking with the powers that be again. It's like, oh god. Like, we get some of this stuff with the in-betweener, but we don't really see that much. We get more of the character focuses, which I'm alright with. It's just, I was trying to figure out what the whole kind of purpose was. Now, for this to be maybe like an introductory thing to this kind of cosmology, the powers that be, the natural order of things, some kind of war that goes on, Win, Dimitri, Mia, and Aiko, yes, they're very strong, but it's more of like the whole thing is a beginning, which works. We just need to see what goes on with it. And of course, the powers that be are talking that like he's been a really good servant. I don't want you to think that's gone unnoticed, and so while I once disapproved of this union, I moved to see if there's cause for supporting it. So on this very special day, I have a gift for you, loyal servant. Not gonna lie, I'm terrified to ask what it is. I offer you a choice to remake your world. Think about the price, think about the cost, and choose. Will it be the greater good and continued servitude to a higher cause, or a better you and a better, simpler life for those you choose to share it with? What's it going to be, servant? And that's where that ends. It's like, ooh, shit. We'll have to see what goes on with that. And of course, then we see all the different kind of bits that kind of flesh out everything going on in it. Now, I do like seeing Win trying to understand and everything. It's interesting how Hickman mainly kind of changes up Strange. Now, Strange is normally more kind of serious depending upon what's going on, but it's kind of like he was amped up more on the serious side to counterbalance having a more whimsical kind of Win kind of character. So we'll see how that kind of works out. I do like these characters and seeing what it kind of details with the understanding of the cosmology of the Marvel Universe. I just feel like this is the beginning of something and that we need kind of more of a conclusion of what goes on for it, if that makes any kind of sense. And that there was stuff going on with the in-betweener, but I kind of wanted to have that more as a focus to kind of go on, because we do see the in-betweener trying to make these kind of adherents to oblivion pretty much, but we don't really get most of that as the driving central forces in these issues, except in the case of Win towards the end in issue 8, with him being cut up and fucked up, and then everybody being like, ah shit, sorry that happened to you, bro. It's like, oh, okay. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And it's like somebody's like, dude, you got fucking like beat the shit out of with used anal beads. It's like, I don't remember shit. Where are the receipts on this shit? It's like, what are you fucking talking about? It's like, oh, okay. I know that sounds like a random ass fucking kind of thing, but like, he got chopped up and pretty much like was fucked up with by the in-betweener. But I do like that we had Oblivion kind of stating his case and what his kind of objectives were, and then the powers that be kind of avatar and showing us everything kind of at the end. The powers that be, not avatar, but like personification, talking to the avatar and giving us more of an understanding of how they kind of operate. It's really weird that like this can have 8 issues, and I'm like, okay, what's going on here? Like, I can tell you what's going on in each issue, but I don't have that whole overarching story. I just feel like I've got the beginning of it and how it's kind of being laid out. Hopefully Imperial and other kind of stuff kind of works out, though Hickman has been doing a lot of stuff with the Ultimate Universe, and that has been doing pretty well with Marvel so far, and with fans from what I've heard. So we'll see what he's able to do and accomplish with Marvel. I like this. I liked how Hickman was able to handle the characters, which I really wasn't that much of a fan of his when I was reading a little bit of the beginning of his Avengers run. I am going to get those collected and go through them again because I like his God stuff. There's other kind of trade backs that I'm going to be doing, like Secret Wars to, of course, prepare for the MCU version, Ultimate Invasion, and Ultimate Spidey, and I've actually been liking his stuff there. I do like him doing stuff with, like, bigger kind of concepts, like how the universe is laid out, what it kind of means, definitely diving into like philosophical kind of things and theological kind of understandings as well, like the Black Swans losing their whole kind of like purpose for being and trying to find that, and other people losing their purpose and finding worse kind of purposes of what can kind of go on and how people can fight against that kind of stuff. And it wouldn't be as compelling if we didn't have Win and Dimitri and Aiko and Mia, and I really connected with Mia, but she's only kind of in there for a little bit, and then we see her like badass final form in like issue 8, and I hope we get more on her, because I definitely want to learn more about her and see what she can do. But I would definitely recommend this, but like with your tempered expectations. This is more like a character-driven one with laying groundwork for higher level concepts with really good art. So in recommending it, mainly be that have that kind of understanding that it's going to be more of a kind of character focused one. You're kind of learning what's kind of going on, and it's kind of a building block. So we'll see what kind of works out with that later on and what Marvel's able to accomplish with that. So those are my opinions on Volume 1. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.